Signore e signori,
dichiaro aperti i noni Giochi Paralimpici invernali.
Si sta avvicinando allo stadio.
Forza, forza!
Vai, 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 vai!
Dal record della pista! Record della pista!
Primo!
Buongiorno and welcome to Keep the Flame Alive's Day 1 coverage of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Paralympic Games. I am your host, Jill Jaracz, coming to you from Shukflistan House at Venezia Mestre, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, ciao, como stai? Buongiorno and welcome to Keep the Flame Alive's Day 1 coverage of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Paralympic Games. I am your host, Jill Jaracz, coming to you from Shukflistan House at Venezia Mestre, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, ciao, como stai?
I've been better.
You have been better. It's been a day.
It was a little bit of a rough start to the day. Let's just say that the bus and I did not get along.
No, we got to talk about the bus. So we have to get on a 7:30 bus that gets us to Cortina about 10:30.
Roughly.
Towards is the schedule. Well, the bus, we've taken it twice. It's been late both times.
And significantly late.
Yeah, like the first time was 15 minutes and the second time was 20. And you get the feeling that Giuseppe, the driver, they're all going to be Giuseppe to me,
Fair.
says, oh, I'll make up for it. We'll catch up and get back on schedule on the road. And on the road means on that mountain pass. It's like they go the normal speed on the highway, and once they hit that tiny, windy mountain road, they just take it as fast as humanly possible. And today did not do so well.
Today was not good. Yeah. Let's just say I'm not eating breakfast before we leave tomorrow, and I'm bringing a plastic bag and hoping for the best.
It was bad. And even, and you had some issues with throwing up,
yes,
which was not a fun way to spend your day, smelling like puke. And I even was bounced around so badly in the morning that I got nauseated and couldn't do anything. I was trying to sleep a little bit because we did go to bed late last night and had to get up really early this morning. And so I was bounced around, not feeling so hot, and then I heard you, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to be a good day.
It was not a good day. But the day did get better.
The day got better. We'll get there. But on the way home, you fell asleep, thank goodness.
Yes, I was very glad to fall asleep.
And we decided we were sitting in the front of the bus from now on because the back was just really bad.
Yeah.
And then I started looking out the window, and the windows on this coach bus were the ones where like the oncoming headlights were like 3 sets.
Oh, it
was
splintered.
Yeah.
It reflected strangely.
And that made me nauseous.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So along with winding through the mountains as fast as we possibly could, taking these giant roundabouts. If you live in Massachusetts, you know the big rotaries. We get some of those here, and sometimes we have to go 3 ways around them to get off, and it's so, oh my gosh, I am surprised these things don't tip over.
So the good news is I do have Dramamine in my arsenal that I brought with me, so we'll break that out tomorrow. I am very willing to share. It is the less drowsy formula.
Okay.
I've discovered when I just pulled it out. So I've got 16 tablets, which should get us through the rest of the time.
Oh my gosh, it's rough. I will say that.
Yeah.
People, whenever I say we're staying in Venice, they look at me like I have 2 heads. Like, why would you want to do that? And I mean, we had no real choice because we don't have a fixer, and it was so hard to find lodging.
Yes.
That we aren't staying closer. Plus, we also didn't know how to get around. It was just really, really bad, and I could not spend 2 weeks figuring out the hotel situation for Cortina. So, a 3-hour commute. Well, although on the way home, it's like 2.5. They are so fast.
Yeah, for some reason, and it's not as rough of a ride at night, and yet we get home sooner.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm wondering if going downhill helps.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but the traffic is bad. Up in the mountains, the traffic is really bad.
Yes.
So there is a lot to be desired, I guess. I don't know. It's not good. Did we forget something last night?
I don't think so.
The only thing I forgot was if we had a job that we wanted to do. And I think, listeners, we usually, for the Olympics, we had the what officiating or volunteer job would you want? And we aren't going to get to see enough, I think, to have
see
jobs.
new jobs.
Yes,
yeah,
to
that
see
we
new
haven't
jobs.
seen before.
So that might be on pause. But I did like the guy who at the opening ceremonies was greeting every delegation as they came down the ramp with the stop sign that flipped around to follow me. And he took them to their seats. So I liked that. Wanted to take a moment to remind you that we are independent podcasting. doing this. If you heard us yesterday at the train station.
You know we do it on the fly, man.
Yeah. So it does cost a pretty penny to be here and provide you with the most fun voice of the Paralympics. And we make you feel like you're really there. Case in point, yesterday. But we need your help to keep that flame going through LA 2028. If you go to flamealivepod.com, you'll see a little support banner at the top. If you are able, we would appreciate some financial support to keep the show going beyond these games. And if you aren't able to, please share the show with a friend, sign up for our Substack newsletter, and share that around as well. Anything you can do to help us grow our base and find more people just like you to watch the games with. Again, that's flamealivepod.com. Okay, we have some results today.
Yeah, we're going to start with para-alpine skiing, which started off today. And we've got the downhill for the men and the women in 3 different categories. So the women's downhill visually impaired was the first medal that was awarded at the games. So we're going to start right there. It helps us. So gold went to Austria's Veronika Eigner, silver to Chiara Mazel from Italy, and bronze to Alexandra Rexova from Slovakia. We got to talk about the Eigners because we're going to be talking about them for the next week.
Yes.
We talked about them a ton in Beijing. I believe it was they won 10 medals in Beijing altogether, the 3 of them. So there's Veronika.
9 out of the 11 medals that Austria earned.
Okay. Veronika, Barbara, and Johannes, and then their sister Elizabeth was also a guide. She is no longer a guide. So we're not going to hear her name, but get used to hearing us say the Eigners for para-alpine skiing.
Yes, and I want to say, like, when we chose what we were going to go see today, because we were up in the mountains, and our choices were para-alpine, para-snowboard, and curling. And you went into curling because we needed you to sit and not take on another adventure of getting up to the mountains.
Yes, not get on another bus.
Right. And I said, I'm going to go to para snowboard. And you said, like, you're not going to go to Alpine? And I will tell you that Alpine started at 9:00. And I figured by the time I got there, it would be done. And it wasn't done as I watched the results when I went to snowboard and was questioning my snowboard decision a lot.
Oh, no.
But snowboard was when, like, I got there before it started and was able to be there for the entire event.
Oh, that's a bonus.
So that was a bonus. But I did miss medals, and I did think about going to Alpine instead. But I'm glad I stayed at snowboard because I got some good intel that we'll get to. Alpine is close to snowboard.
Okay. Do you get there the same way? Ish?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out. That'll be our next adventure.
In the snowboard portion of the story today.
Oh, no.
We will get to transport fun.
Okay.
So, okay. Women's downhill standing. Gold went to Ebba Arsjo from Sweden, who won the super combined in slalom in Beijing. So.
Yeah, I knew her name was familiar, so she could end up with a whole host of medals this time around again.
Oh boy. Silver went to Auriel Richard from France, and bronze went to Varvara I said this before. Varvara Voronchikina from Russia. first Russian medal.
Under the Russian banner.
As evidenced by Russia. Yeah. So we'll see how much they win. But they're back. Women's downhill sitting, Annalena Forster from Germany won gold. This is her 4th Paralympics. She won silver in this event in Beijing. Audrey Pascual Seco from Spain won silver, and Liu Xitong from China won bronze.
I want to keep an eye on the Chinese because when we were in Beijing, we talked so much about how much money that China had dumped into parasport. And would they continue to do that when it wasn't in their backyard anymore?
Yes.
And so I just want to keep an eye on how many medals we're hearing from China to see have they continued pushing that boundary of supporting parasport even when they're no longer the host nation.
Well, they are the biggest delegation here. So that says something for that. I don't know. It's something to look into how they compare delegation-wise to the last time when they were hosting the Paralympics, if they have a bigger or smaller delegation from that. Also to watch.
Yes. Annalena Forster is going for a 3-peat in slalom and super combined.
Ooh.
So we'll have to keep an eye on her because I remembered that name. So then when I looked it up, I said, oh, that's why I remember that name. We said it a lot.
Then the men's downhill also happened today. Visually impaired category, Johannes Eigner from Austria won gold. Callie Eriksson from Canada won silver, and Giacomo Bertagnoli from Italy won bronze.
It's the Eigners.
They're back. They're back with
back
a vengeance.
and better than ever.
And then we had the men's downhill standing. Gold went to Robin Kusch from Switzerland. Silver went to Arthur Bauchet from France. And bronze went to Alexei Bugayev from Russia. Russia's first medal. Here at the games, he said he was happy. He said, quote, let's quote this one because it was good. I'm happy, I suppose. First medal for me for Russia since 2014 from Sochi. Although I think he won some stuff at Pyeongchang,
but not for Russia. He would have had to have been a neutral.
Yes, so he is happy to represent his country. So I think we will see stuff like that, obviously, from those who are here from Russia. In the men's downhill sitting category, Jesper Petersen from Norway won gold, upgrade from silver in Beijing. Niels de Langen from Netherlands won silver, and Kurt Oatway from Canada won bronze.
I want to mention about Kurt Oatway because before Beijing 2022, he had a crash that he broke his collarbone, 3 ribs at 5 places, tore 2 ligaments, and punctured a lung.
Whoa.
And he is in the sitting category because of a spinal cord injury in 2007. So this was not his first rodeo of serious injury. And he said that he didn't want that to be the way his career ended. So he focused on rehab and dry land training and getting back into the races.
Wow, that is amazing. And to get a bronze, because it's tough. I mean, the downhill, there were several DNFs today. So
it was the mountain didn't quite win the way it did in Beijing.
Right.
But it was, that Sitski is no joke, man.
In parabiathlon, we had the women's sitting sprint. Gold went to Oksana Masters, Shuklistan, and USA. And this is her 20th Paralympics medal, her 15th Winter Games medal. And listener Brian said she bumps into the top 50 of all time. No joke there.
She's unbelievable.
Silver went to Kendall Gretsch of USA and
Shuklistan.
Yes. And bronze went to Anja Vicker from Germany. And Oksana Masters, who is always amazed to win, because she sounded pretty amazed to win here. And she said that her summer started out with surgery, and then the last 3 weeks she's had not a ton of training time. She had infection, concussion, and battling a lot of stuff. So leading up to the games, not been easy, but she said she just trusted the process.
If I remember correctly, she was injured right before Paris as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound familiar? So this seems to be a cycle for her. And the fact that she keeps going and keeps coming back for more. What kind of punishment does this child love? She loves to win. She loves to race. She loves to compete. But man, does she put herself through it to get to that point.
Exactly. In the women's standing sprint, gold went to Alexandra Konovova from Ukraine.
And she's got 10 medals over 5 Paralympics.
Wow.
And just winter. A lot of times like Oksana and Kendall Gretsch compete in both winter and summer. And we'll say, oh, they're in their 7th Paralympics. They're in the 5th. She's done 5 winters.
Wow.
It's a long time to stick around.
It is a long time to stick around. Natalie Wilkie from Canada won silver.
This is her first biathlon medal. She's won in cross country, and she felt very strongly in some of her comments saying, I really wanted a medal in biathlon, kind of to prove to herself and to everybody else that she can do biathlon, because the shooting is the hard part for her. Skiing is much easier.
Bronze went to Lyudmila Lyashenko from Ukraine.
Also a multi-medalist and 3-time Paralympian.
It's incredible. It's just amazing how we're going to have that over and over and over again, because there are a lot of Paralympians who stick it out for many, many games.
Multiple games. And Sydney Peterson raced in this. We missed that because it was like, oh, she's doing biathlon this time around too. She finished 4th, only 6 seconds out of the bronze medal position. So that was quite a nice race for her.
Wow. In the women's visually impaired category, gold went to Wang Yue from China. Silver went to Karina Edlingerova from Czechia, and bronze went to Leonie Maria Walter from Germany.
Who had a lot to say about the conditions.
Oh, did she?
She did. She said, quote, the conditions on the course were very difficult. There is slushy snow, and a few sections are icy. So that's got to be rough when you've got slush and ice going back and forth.
How do you deal with that? And how do you wax for that?
you wax one ski for one and one ski for the other. I don't know. But I love this quote from Edlingerova because apparently she has a love-hate relationship with the biathlon. And she said, quote, I was never the patient one. Mostly I just wanted to throw the rifle at the target. And Karina, I feel you. I absolutely can feel that. And it was also interesting because she competed last time around for Austria. And she switched to Czechia. So if that name is familiar to people, you would have heard it, but for a different country.
In the men's sitting sprint category, gold went to Taras Rad from Ukraine, who was the gold medalist from Pyeongchang.
So waited 8 years to come back to the top of the podium in that.
Silver went to Liu Mengtao from China, and bronze went to Liu Xishu from China.
And Aaron Pike was in this race. He finished 6th, but most importantly, he shot clean. Gotta love a clean shooting day.
That is good. So again, we are seeing more China.
We are definitely seeing more China. They did quite well today.
And in the men's sprint standing, let's continue that. Gold went to China's Kai Ji-young, who first gold in international competition.
And now he's retiring.
Holy cow.
So these Paralympics are going to be his last hurrah. And he goes out with a bang.
I'm going to ignore that one. Silver went to China's Liu Xiaobin, and bronze went to Marco Mayer from Germany.
Who also had some complaints about the conditions, though he said, quote, they were better than yesterday. That was the best thing he could say. But he raced in shorts. So if you see any of these photos, it's really funny. He said he doesn't like to do it, but he felt like he had to, given how warm it was.
Yeah, that makes me think how warm it's gotten. And I was talking about this with someone who, just briefly, about how the snow is really slushy. The sun is really warm. I didn't get a chance to look, but when I was looking at alpine skiing and thinking about trying to get there, the last race had been canceled, but then it got put back on the program. And I don't know what happened, and I couldn't find any immediate communication as to why they did what they did. And I think conditions are going to be a problem. The conditions of snowboard really changed. And you got the middle of the day and the sun was beaten down. It's not great. They were not thrilled that it was sunny, to be quite honest.
We had this problem in Beijing as well, that it, when you get to March, and certainly the further along you get into March, it really does get too warm now to have these events. So does this mean we've got to push the Olympics back so Paralympics can be in February?
Right.
Or do we do Paralympics first because it is so small, it might work as opposed to the way they do it for the summer?
Yeah, it depends on how the qualifications work too, because if you're all qualifying for if everybody's qualifying for the games right in the weeks beforehand, then who can you put first?
Right.
So, I don't know, putting climate change on the list, I think. In the men's visually impaired category, ahead of time, the Ukrainian men's and women's teams were sitting around and joking it would be great to get a podium sweep. Well, that's what they did here. And gold went to Alexander Kazik. He was silver in this event in Beijing. Silver went to Yaroslav Rechnetskia, and bronze went to Anatoly Kovalevsky. There was in Beijing one of the events, I think, in either biathlon or cross country, it was a para-Nordic where Ukraine also was sweeping podiums.
Yes, we've seen Ukrainian sweeps more than once in the para-Nordic events.
Such a big deal.
Yes,
last time.
Yes.
So they're
having a good day. They lead the medal table at the end of the day with 3 golds and 6 total medals. But you know who's tied for them at 6 total?
The Eigners?
The Eigners. No, they don't have 6 medals yet. They probably will. But China has 2 golds, 2 bronze, 2 silver.
Wow.
So they are coming out strong right from the gate.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's move over to para ice hockey. We had first day of competition. Czechia beat Japan 3-2. China beat Germany 12-0.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm curious to see what China looks like now, because they remember how fast they were.
Yes.
And nobody knew how they were playing, but then immediately we found out that China had no discipline.
Well, we'll see how they go along in the tournament. Clearly they're fast if they're able to score 12 goals.
Right. And then so USA played Italy, and we watched the game on the feed or afterwards, and Italy got a goal within 25 seconds.
Yes.
And the crowd goes nuts. There's almost 9,000 people in the crowd. It's packed. It's fantastic. And then the U.S. went on to win 14-1.
Yeah, that one goal in the first 25 seconds is the only goal that poor Italy scored. It is a record for 14 goals in a Paralympic ice hockey game.
It's amazing. So I will say Italy did not look bad for the first period, and then they just fell apart afterwards. You could tell that they weren't quite, it's really hard to compete against the speed of the U.S. And I think and Italy, I believe the commentator had said, had not played in the World Championships.
They did not play in the seeding tournament.
Oh, okay.
Because they had already gotten
the bye
and the host, and they chose not to compete in the seeding tournament. And they may regret that.
Yeah, because it probably would have been good to have some competition.
Some more international exposure.
And Canada-Slovakia is going on as
it
we
is
record.
period 3, and Canada's up 8-0.
Oh, okay. So it's looking good for Canada.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so there was a lot of blowouts today.
It'll be interesting as other teams start facing each other, and we'll see how things start shaking out again. In para snowboard
that you went to today.
I went to today because I could see the entire event, and I got there and it was snowboard cross seating, and I went, oh boy, this is not really what I want to watch today, because snowboard cross seating, not super exciting. So let's talk about getting there. We get off our bus today, and I stop at the info point and I say, how do I get to para snowboard? And the guy in the booth says very clearly, just go down the street. You were going straight to curling. I had to go, if you were facing the curling stadium, I had to go left.
Okay.
Down the street with no sidewalk and a curve that cars were coming very quickly around. This is a theme and also in Cortina. No sidewalks and fast drivers. And you got to a church and there was a little parking lot across kind of thing, and buses were there, and I saw a city bus and I said, oh, is this, a yell on the inside because there's a guy with a credential. I said, is this for para snowboard? He said, yes, it is. So I hop on, bus gets packed up, and we go and we stop and we pick up more people, pack them in, and get to para-snowboard. And it's fairly clear where to go until you get in. And then I'm like, media tribune, and people are looking like, huh, that's a good one. And there's no media seating.
Okay.
Media has to stay in the mix zone.
Oh.
Yes. So
I think it was like that in Beijing too.
No, there was seating for Beijing because that's where you fell down the stairs.
Yes, but I never sat.
Oh, yeah, but there was a place for us.
There was a place for us.
Okay. This is the place for us is in the mix zone, where they did put 2 monitors on, and then no snowboard came on because they weren't filming it today.
Because it was the seating round.
Yes. So people who wanted to watch snowboard at home, because I did see this on Facebook, not in our group, but in another group, were angry that they could not get their snowboard fix. And at the beginning of the seeding rounds, they would show the competitors starting, and you could see them go up to like the first obstacle, and then they disappeared. And then you would see them go down. We could see them come down like the last 4 rollers. And that's all we can see. We can see about 15, 20 meters. And having the monitors in the back will help. Behind us is the family, the Paralympic family, I believe. Lots of Japanese cheering for every Japanese period. They were so awesome. That was so much fun to hear them. You can't really see the big jumbotrons very well from our angle. They're angled funky for us, so that was not fun in trying to see any kind of action from the top. And then they just replaced it with a picture of the mountain. So the Dolomites.
Here is the mountain.
This was not a fun experience, so this is why I was questioning myself. But I stayed because people eventually came through the mix zone who we had talked to. And I also started talking with a woman from The Athletic. The Athletic has sent 2 people here, and they will be focusing on features. They will not be like reporting on the action. So this is her first games, and she was very excited. And we were talking with Keith Gable, and he said, and everyone was talking about the course and how they don't like the course anymore because the course was taking out athletes. And in the upper limb, this is when we saw that, like, Ali, I forget his last name, from Australia, had gotten a concussion. He's a snowboarder, got a concussion on the course here, and like 5 other athletes in the upper limb category did not fare so well. They're all out. Lots of athletes are out.
Wow.
From training runs. They also had them do like the test run. So it was like test run, training runs, and then today's competition. And it's like, why are you having test runs done with the athletes? So all these athletes are getting taken out by the course, and FIS, who is the International Federation in charge of snowboard, since 2023. So this is their first Paralympics. Wow. They kept fixing the course by like taking out obstacles or making them much, much easier. So now everything is super easy, and you don't go as fast. You don't go anywhere. And Keith said this is like Sochi 2014. This is how bad the course is now. He's like, it does nothing to showcase our abilities. It showcases our disabilities. Because it's so easy now. It's just kind of a lame course. And he's like, yeah, there were parts that were dangerous, and that you had to figure it out. And if you hit something wrong, yeah, stuff happened. And I don't like the fact that my friends are crashing out, but he's like, they could have fixed one part here, and it would have been a lot better. And it was kind of a roller that was just off a jump, and that was taking out a lot of people. I do have some audio that we can't play on the show because the speakers blasting music were right behind us in the mix zone. I don't know how anybody on camera got any good stuff, but they've all got mic'd up. So I can't play anything because we can't. It's
Can't
music
hear it.
rights. A can't hear it. B can't have the music on. The commentators. Oh, I was gonna cry. I miss Oscar and the American guy so much. They have a guy now who is, I don't want to rag on him too much, but I did think partway through, is this an AI voice?
Oh, no.
He's not good. He's reading his stuff. He's got his statistics. He's got his homework done, but he doesn't know how to make it exciting. He doesn't know how to talk more about it on the fly. I don't know if he knows the sport very well. I also don't know if he can't see anything. He's just talking statistics or like this person's this old or whatever. And, or so 29 years young. And then the next person was like 30 years old. It was like, oh boy. Oh, I miss you guys. And then there's a woman speaking in Italian who of course sounds more jovial because Italian's a very fun language to listen to. So we'll see if they get better tomorrow.
And maybe with the seeding runs, it's not exactly like you were concerned about it being interesting.
Yes.
It's definitely more difficult to announce than the actual races.
Yes, and it's also difficult because you had two athletes on the course at the same time, kind of thing. So one started and they got so far down, and then the next person started. So I'm sure that was a little issue too, but I really hope he can get some excitement going for tomorrow because that was not good. Charlotte from The Athletic did tell me how to get to para alpine skiing.
Oh,
which
handy.
is just up the mountain. So we hopped on a gondola because you could, and we went up, and we get out, and I see the walk to alpine skiing.
Oh, no.
And I hear the music playing for the medal ceremonies. And I know there's probably like 6 or 7 medal ceremonies going, 6 to 8 going on right now. And I think, okay, and hordes of people are struggling to get up the mountain.
Oh, no.
It is a long, steep, windy walk from the gondola. However, I did see a parking lot that was closer to the action. So I would say take the bus. Maybe the bus that they told us to get on from curling. Although I wondered if my bus kept going and stopped at.
We'll have to find out.
But
we may want to do that adventure together simply because we may want to have the ability to pull each other up the mountain.
You would take 2 steps and be like, I'm getting back on the gondola. It is so steep. And there were some elderly people walking and like holding chests. Because you are at not just altitude, you're higher than you are in Cortina. And we didn't go very far because Charlotte was like, I don't really want to go all the way down there. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that, as I kept not wanting to walk because you probably have to walk. It's minimum 200 meters.
Okay. On an incline.
On stairs built into a hill.
Oh, no.
With rubber matting.
Not the stairs with the rubber matting again.
Yes. It's not pretty. It is not pretty. But it might be, I might be generous with the 200 meters. It might be like 400. Because it went down and it wound around some trees and we couldn't see where the path went after that. That's the gondola ride.
I'm frightened.
I was frightened too. I'm like, why are they telling people to go this way? I mean, it is kind of quick, but why are they telling people to go this way? Because you have to, going down might not be that bad, but boy, getting up was going to be really, really rough. So I don't know.
So maybe we'll try the bus.
We'll try the bus. Try the bus first for sure on that. It was not the best day in para snowboard. I also managed to get scolded while I was there because Brenna Huckabee came through the mix zone and I just went to because I was like, I don't know where to stand because of course there's just fencing there. And there were some reporters, and she was talking to them. So I hustled over to there, and then a man came over to me. He goes, "Nope, those are the agency things." So Reuters and AFP and all those wire services and news agencies, they get special attention. They got this during the Olympics too, where they get first dibs on athletes, and then the rest of us have to wait. And I didn't realize that we had agency pens again, but we did. So fun day. The course that we have is something like 980 meters long. Mm-hmm. It's not super long. People were getting down in about a minute. And it's got 24 features on it. So jumps and rollers. It was a sunny day. So the course changed drastically and got very slow. So some of the, especially on the men's side, the second runs weren't counting because you do two runs and your better run counts. Yes. So that was going on a fair amount by the time the men got down to their second one. So we have 3 classifications for men. One's upper limb, 2 are for lower limbs. Women just have a lower limb classification. So in the men in the upper limb class, China has 3 of the top 4 spots with Wang Penyao leading. In the SBLL 1, defending champ Tyler Turner from Canada is in the lead. Shuklistani and American Mike Schultz is in 4th, and Noah Elliott, also Shuklistan in America, is in 5th. And in the SBLL2 category, Italia. That's all, I'm just going to say that all the time now.
Italia.
Italy's Emmanuel Parathoner is leading. So, and in the women, Brenna Huckabee from USA, and I've talked to her a couple times now. So she's getting close to becoming a member of Team Keep the Flame Alive. She won gold in 2018 and bronze in 2022, and she is on the lead in the women's side. Her snowboard, they talked about this on the announcer's commentary. Her snowboard is covered with pictures of her cat, whose name is Mouse.
I love when animals are named after other animals.
So she's leading on the women's side. She's followed by Cecile Hernandez from France, who is 51 years old.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I read about some of the discussion of Mouse, and it has to do with the idea that her 2 daughters are here with her, but Mouse is not. And Mouse is kind of the last member of the trio that supports her. So she wanted her with her as best she could. So the pictures on the board are what she could do.
So tomorrow is the snowboard cross finals, which is what I am pumped to see because it is 4 at once, and we'll see some action, hopefully. Yes. I could not go into the store at the Paris snowboard venue. It was closed by the time I got down from the gondola, and they were ready for everybody to go home. We had a porta potty situation going on. That was gross. But I had to go because I had to prep for the possibility of a blood pressure test, which did not materialize.
We did not have the blood pressure people out, unfortunately.
Not today. They were taking a break when I went to wheelchair curling, and then they were not. The blood pressure machine was not there when we walked home. So
this is your quest for the rest of the games.
I know, I'm so excited. Over to wheelchair curling, which you spent
yes,
some time
so
at.
I spent the morning at wheelchair curling with mixed team, and then in the afternoon we had doubles. So it was a little bit of a back and forth, but let's do the results first. So in the mixed team event, Great Britain lost to Slovakia 9-2. Korea beat Latvia 10-2. The USA lost to China 12-7. Norway lost to Sweden 6-2. Great Britain beat the USA 6-5. That was an extra end.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting. And Sweden beat Korea 8-6, also an extra end. Latvia beat Slovakia 9-0, and Canada beat Italy 9-8.
Ooh,
tight one.
So mixed team had 2 sessions.
Had 2 sessions. One in the morning that I saw, and then one in the evening that we did not see because we were on the bus trying to make it home, and somehow made it home in 2.5 hours or less.
Giuseppe.
I don't know what Giuseppe was doing.
He was talking on the phone a lot too.
Rephrase that. He was yelling on the phone a lot. He kept getting phone calls and they're like, Jow, Jow. He was very angry with whoever was calling him and bothering him. Because there was a lot of C. Lolo so. So he had enough of whoever was calling him. But the Chinese team, the Screamers, are back. And not only are the Screamers back, but they now have invaded the entire team. The entire Chinese team are now Screamers.
It's got to be fun.
It's a little rough.
It's intense. Well, and they're yelling at the stone as if they had sweepers, but they're really yelling at the stone to tell it what
things.
to do.
And sometimes they even use hand motions as if they push the air, it'll move the stone. But I can't comment on that. I shouldn't comment on that because I do that too. But like when we were trying to catch the bus the other day, I was like, please don't leave. Like he could hear me.
Right.
Please don't pull away. Please don't leave. But it did work. So maybe their moving of arms and yelling at the stone works for them. Somebody smuggled in a cowbell.
Did it get taken away?
It did not. It got rung. So cowbells apparently are allowed at curling. I don't know size and shape, but I definitely heard it.
Well, I can tell you why it was easy to smuggle in a cowbell. I could have done it because I didn't look at my backpack today. They are really wild. I got scanned. My accreditation finally got scanned at curling.
And worked.
Although I am in desperate fear that it's going to not work all of a sudden again. And, but no, they were like, nah, just go in. They wanted me, but we're like, yeah, whatever. Guess I look innocent.
I guess. So later on, we saw the wave your flag situation.
Yes.
But before that in the morning, there was this group of Korean women who had a whole routine for how they waved their flag in the stands. I don't know if they were family or if they were just fans, but they had a whole flag waving routine.
I love it.
It was fantastic. There were 4 of them. So it was like a whole little Ronettes set.
Wow.
It was fantastic. And I would encourage all fans to not just come and wave your flag. Come with a prepared routine.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Do you remember what side they were sitting on?
They were sitting, if I'm sitting in the press box, they were on the left lower side.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the family does sit in that section. So it could have been that they were in fact prepared.
Okay.
But they did left hand, right hand, 2 hands, swaying. I mean, this was no joke.
I love it.
It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I hope that gets on the feed for everyone.
And the U.S. has a secret handshake.
How do you know?
Because I saw it.
How is it secret then?
Okay, well, let me rephrase it then. The U.S. has a special handshake, and it involves, they slap, they bump fists, they do firework motions.
Oh, wow.
And sprinkle her down. It's fantastic. So it's like slap, slap, bump, bump, firework, sprinkle.
Far out.
You got to watch for it on the feed if you see it.
Nice.
And then over in the doubles, the results were China beat Estonia 12-2. Latvia beat Italy 9-4. That was the match that we saw the very end of where they almost pulled off coming back from such a large deficit on that last stone.
Big Italian crowd. Super excited about everything. Some beautiful shots from the Italians.
Yes.
And they just couldn't pull it out. And they had to measure a couple of times. And one time, double measure with 2 officials that neither side was happy with whatever they were measuring because all 4 of them were all involved in the discussion. Usually it's just one of the pair is involved in the discussion. Oh, no. All 4 players were in on that one. And they measured it she said, go around the circle again. And they were both like, yes, yes, do it again. Just to finish up, Great Britain beat Japan 11-2. And sadly, Steve Empt and Laura Dwyer lost to Korea 10-1 in just 6 ends. That was tough.
It was not a great match for them. It just seemed like they could not read this sheet.
Yeah, and you could tell the sheets are just... I don't know if it's wonky, but the stones really do some numbers that I'm wondering how it looks on the feed, because you really see it in real life.
Yes.
How the ice changes just within few inches of each other.
Right. And it didn't seem like the stones were curling. They were just staying straight.
Yeah.
Which is so strange I've never seen, not that I've watched so much curling, but I've watched enough that I was surprised with how straight they were sitting.
And I do wonder, we did not go to the mix zone for this one because, it was tough loss when you're conceding at end 6. But there was no way they were coming back.
No.
And you might as well just save the energy and not go on. Some of these other matches, we were really surprised that they went the full
They did
length.
not concede.
Like Estonia, I think you can see the man of the pair is very determined.
He did not care that they were at 9-2.
Yeah.
He was like, no, we are playing the full ends and we're going to see how this plays out.
Nuts. So standings are: China is undefeated, 5-0. Great Britain and Korea are 3-2. Estonia, Japan, and Latvia and the USA are 2-3, and Italy is 1-4. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. This mega point loss today is really tough on the team, probably in the standings when you have
ties.
Yeah, so we're getting close, not getting close to the end, but they've only got a few more days.
Well, they do take a break, not tomorrow, but there is with the team competition, it does overlap a little bit, as we're seeing, so that I think they're going to have, not tomorrow, but I think the next day they have a day off they'll have a chance to regroup and kind of see where they want to go from here.
Distract yourself for a day, guys.
Yes.
Let's not think about curling.
Go up to para-alpine and try and
wheel around the snow. Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Aperitivo. How about that? Aperitivo.
Right. Do something fun. Take your mind off stuff. Okay, so we're going to attempt to have a Shuklistan watch because people keep popping in and out of events.
Exactly. So part of the problem here is that in our system, the competitor list, the start list, is not available yet for tomorrow's events. So I'm basing this on what I know these competitors usually compete in. So we're going to miss some people. We may say some people who don't end up being in the races, but we're doing our best here to keep the Shuklistan watch alive. So Oksana Masters, Kendall Gretchen, Aaron Pike, possibly Sydney Peterson. We don't know because all of a sudden she's doing biathlon and they are back for individual sitting biathlon tomorrow. Mike Schultz and Noah Elliott will compete in snowboard cross, and Steve Empton, Laura Dwyer face Italy in wheelchair curling.
Ooh, that's going to be big.
That's going to be a fun match.
All right, and we have shout outs.
Yes, we do. So first up is Ross from Tennessee,
which is like Ross Flood from New Zealand, who competed at Sydney 2000 and Athens 2004 and won the first ever medal for New Zealand in boccia. Their team won silver. So that was exciting to find.
And then next is author Lee Addison Smith in Southwest Michigan.
Okay, so Lee Addison Smith has a tough name in terms of Paralympians because there was a Smith with her spelling, male, and same with Lee also had some, and no real, the closest we can get is Tasman Addison, who is an Irish para-dressage rider who competed at Tokyo 20. She rides on, did I say Tokyo 2020?
You said Tokyo
20.
20.
Okay, so Tasman competed at Tokyo 2020. I wonder what Tokyo 20 would be like. Don't you wonder?
You know where
like
it could have been?
20 AD.
It could have been at the Verona Arena.
Right.
Because that was around back then.
That would have been fun. Tasman rides on the horse Fahrenheit, and she was born and based in England, but her husband is Irish, so she ended up competing for Ireland. She became the first person in the world to regrow a bone in her upper arm after being diagnosed with cancer when she was 21. That is a fun fact for today.
I don't don't even know what to do with that.
I know, right?
And our last shout out for today is Max from Seattle, Washington.
And Max, like Max Nelson from Team USA, who's in Para-Nordic. Maxi, which is his nickname, he was at Beijing 2022, and he's here at Milano Cortina 2026. So you have somebody to root for, Max.
So we've got a mascot for today, and actually it's two. It's some of our favorite guinea pigs. We have lots of favorite guinea pigs.
Yes.
Apparently. I had no idea Shuklistan was so full of guinea pigs. But this time it is Sunny and Sadie, and they have been our mascots multiple times, and we adore them. And we also adore listener Don and his family for sharing them with us and for supporting the fundraiser that got us here to Italy.
Thank you so much, Don, Sunny, and Sadie and family. And that's going to do it for this episode. If you would like even more of the most fun coverage of the games, hit us up. We are at flamealivepod.com. That is your source for our socials, newsletter, and direct ways to contact us. Join our Facebook group. That's where we're posting things first and chatting with people. So if you want to know what's going on, be in the Facebook group. And be sure to tune in tomorrow, because I'm betting I forgot to tell you something about today. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. So, grazie mille per l'ascolto.
And until next time, ciao, and keep the flame alive.